Welcome to another episode of Sunday World Engage. My name is Mpho Koka. We are here at the handover ceremony and memorial service of the 14 South African soldiers who were killed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is where the bodies of the 14 soldiers will be handed over to their families. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the keynote address during the memorial service.
I received with shock, sadness, and extreme grief the sad news of the untimely death of Lance Corporal MS Rasisi, Lance Corporal TM Olapo, Private D Maluleke, Staff Sergeant WCE Kola, Private PJ Stradom, Private SR Chokwe, Private CL Muahi, Corporal MJ Malisa, Staff Sergeant MI Lahlehi, Corporal R Nemavulana, Lance Bombardier IM Moreo, and Staff Sergeant TP Siepe, who passed on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 27th and 28th of January 2025, respectively, while serving the Summit DRC, as well as Rifleman T.A. Mabele and Rifleman M.J. Mobi, who were serving under the QRF of MONUSCO. On behalf of the Summit DRC and MONUSCO community, and indeed on my behalf, I wish to express my heartfelt condolences to the SANDF and the bereaved families for this tragedy, which has caused a great loss to the SADF, the entire SADC, and United Nations. This death brings more sorrow because the 14 personnel who died while executing a noble duty for the SADF, for SADC, as well as the United Nations and the entire human community. Their role in the DRC included restoring peace and security, protecting civilians and facilitating humanitarian efforts. In this hour of grief, I understand that their deaths were not in vain, but important struggle for peace and security in Africa. Lastly, to the bereaved families, I'd like to leave the following message, which is from Timothy 4, verse 6 to 8. It reads as follows: I have finished my course, I have kept the faith, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love is appearing. I thank you.
I'm here as a representative or an ambassador of UN. I'm representing Ms. Bantu Keita, which is a mission commander and a special representative to the Secretary General of United Nations. So the letter reads as thus: with profound sadness and solidarity, I write this letter to pay tribute and honor to our fellow UN family members. M1109840, Private Andres Tidiso Mabel, and M1109844, Private Mukiti Joseph Muri, who were taken away from us following their ultimate and tragic death. Words cannot describe how deeply sorry I am to report our loss. We pay tribute to them for embodying what it truly means to wear the blue helmet. They will be deeply missed by their families, comrades, friends, and all who knew them. To their bereaved families and colleagues who were not prepared for such profound loss, I pray that they find comfort in the Most High. Rest in peace. M1109844, Private Andres Tidiso Mabeni, and M11098444, Private Muketi Joseph Mubi. Please accept my deepest condolences for the tragic loss of our dear comrade in arms. I thank you.
Thank you. Let us be seated, please. Program directors, the bereaved families of our fallen soldiers, Minister of Defense and military veterans, Ms. Angie Mutsecha, who had to leave a little earlier to catch a flight to Addis Ababa to the meeting of the African Union, where she will attend the Peace and Security Council meeting with all other countries on our continent to discuss peace and security on our continent. Her counterpart is here, Minister of Defense of the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Mr. Guy Kabombo Muadiamvita. The charge d'affaires of the DRC to South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Benene. I want to extend greetings to the members of Parliament who are here present, and ministers and deputy ministers of the Republic of South Africa also here, and chairpersons of the committees of our Parliament, and extend my greetings to our former First Lady, House Zanele Mbeki, and also former Minister, Mr. Jeff Radebe, who is my special envoy to the Great Lakes, and the Chief of our National Defense Force, General Ruzani Mapwanya, and members of the Military Command Council, and members of the Plenary Defense Staff Council, generals and admirals and officers, non-commissioned officers, and fellow South Africans. Ntumeleng go thoma ka go fetišetša matshedišo a rena legatong la mmuso le batho ka moka ba Afrika Borwa, gagologolo go malapa le batho ba United Republic of Tanzania le ba Republic ya Malawi ka lebaka la go latlhegelwa ke masole a bona. Re fetisisa ditebogo tsa rena go mmuso wa Uganda le setšhaba ka moka sa Southern African Development Community ka thekgo e ba re fileng yona go kgona go kgotlisa bana ba rena. Bosigong ba kajeno ba lekgono re eme mo ka dipelo tse boima. So allow me then to thank those various people in those countries who have really assisted us to bring back our fallen soldiers. Our nation is in mourning for these brave souls who lost their lives in defense of our brothers and sisters in the Eastern DRC. On behalf of the people of the Republic of South Africa, I offer my profound and deepest sympathies to the families of our fallen soldiers. Laba iba ime ibona nyamutlha la ba lahlekeriwe hi vutomi bya vona hi ku ri a va lwela kurhula na ku endla ku ri swibamu leswi swi fanele ku ri swi miyela ku endlela ku ri Afrika-Dzonga na Afrika leyi hinkwayo iba na kurhula. They lost their lives in defense of the defenseless. Yes, our fellow Africans, even if they may sound like they are in faraway countries, they are still Africans. Indeed, the South African National Defence Force is a force that is for the brave. And those who have taken an oath to serve the people of our country, but as we are called upon to participate in missions of our continent, but also in international missions, they responded to that call to serve. As a nation, we are indeed proud of our very brave fallen soldiers. I want to thank the Ministry of Defense and the leadership of the South African National Defence Force for making every effort to repatriate the remains of our fallen troops to their families. Earlier, I had an occasion to meet with the families of our fallen soldiers. It was a moment of great sadness as we passed our condolences directly to the families. They are sorrowful, and it is to be understood. Ndilibuanga manda muhasho wa SANDF kamushume wabawita kuvuyisa masole ashu. Our thanks also go to the United Nations, the Southern African Development Community, and other governments for their assistance. This was an operation involving considerable logistical challenges at a time when the security situation in the Eastern DRC remains volatile. And I'd like to thank the commanders who are currently in the DRC for sending a message to the families of those who have fallen, but also a message to all of us in South Africa. Hierdie pligtige geleentheid is 'n skerp herinnering aan die groot koste verbonde aan die bou van vrede in ons land, wat dikwels in die lewens van ons beste betaal word. En tog is vrede 'n ideaal waarna ons vir ewig moet en sal streef. The South African Defence Force is a defence force that is capable of defending the people of South Africa, but also capable of intervening in the interest of peace and security for those who need it in our region. We intervened recently in Mozambique when Mozambique was threatened by negative forces, and we knew that as we intervened, we were not only intervening on behalf of the people of Mozambique, but on our own behalf as well, because what had befallen Mozambique through the incursions of insurgents could easily befall us. And we acted in defense of our own country and also in defense of the people of Mozambique and our own region. South Africa is a troop contributing country to the SADC mission in the DRC and the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the DRC as well. And as a country, we remain firmly committed to supporting all processes to bring peace in our region, but more particularly to bring an end to the conflict that has been raging in the DRC for almost 30 years. As we participate in these missions, I'd like us all to know that we are also defending our own freedom. We are also defending our own peace. The Chief of our National Defense Force, General Mapanya, is absolutely correct in restating the mission of our soldiers, of the Defense Force. And he's decrying the politicization of this whole mission, and indeed the politicization of the lives of our soldiers. And his call to his former colleagues who are generals, and his call to current serving generals is a correct one. And his call also to all of us as South Africans is a correct one, that this is not a time, yes, to be debating all the matters that have been current in our media, but it is a time to mourn the death of our fallen soldiers. We are encouraged by the outcomes of last week's joint summit of the East African Community and the South African Development Community, a summit that was, as I stated in Parliament this afternoon, quite historic, in that it is a summit that prioritized the political solution to the crisis in the East DRC. And South Africa reiterates its call for an immediate ceasefire and for a cessation of hostilities for all the warring parties to resume in inclusive negotiations. And as I indicated this afternoon, we call on all actors, both state and non-state actors, to participate in the dialogue that is led by President Lorenzo of the Republic of Angola, assisted and facilitated by President Uhuru Kenyatta, former president of Kenya. As Africans, we are one people. When one part of Africa bleeds, we feel its pain. And I want to thank you all as families for being able to come here so that we can have this memorial and bid them farewell. And I wish you courage. I wish you courage as you yourselves as families, aided and assisted by our defense force, as you lay them to rest. I know that it is a difficult time for you all as families. It is also a difficult time for us as a nation, and we will forever remember them. Thank you all for being here.